Rolling. All right, it's day 2 of the Ice Vegas Invitational, and we talked to Tyler Paley just a few minutes ago. Why not bring Paige Burnell back in and get her opinion on a historic tournament for the Arizona State Sun Devils? So Paige, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Scott. Glad to be back.
Tell me a little bit about your thoughts last night. What did you think in the first period when you see the Sun Devils go out and score 3 unanswered goals in the first period to grab a lead?
I was very impressed with them, and like I said last night, the key to that game was them having an impressive start, and they came out and did that. Then after the game, I asked the players, was it because they had such a tough weekend before in Pittsburgh that they were able to have such a good start? And most of them said yes, they needed that, and it was the push they needed, and that's why they got such a good start yesterday.
As we were talking to Coach Powers after the game, he mentioned that he'd had the guys out on Wednesday night to his house, and primarily the idea was fun, right? Mm-hmm. Making the game fun again, and it looked to me like they were having a lot of fun on the ice. Your opinion?
I agree with you. They were having a good time, especially in the first period when they got that confidence, they got those 3 goals. They realized that they could go back to that style of hockey that they've wanted to go back to for a couple weeks now. And they did really well, and once they got into that groove, they kept it moving.
A couple of guys really stood out to me last night. Joey obviously was Joey, right? But Louie Roe, when he scored that goal on the 5-on-3 power play to start the second period, the expression on his face, I happened to be about 15 feet from him on the glass, and he looked like 1,000 pounds just came off of his back.
Definitely. He definitely got the monkey off his back, and for the veterans, especially on the team, it's been a little bit difficult for them. They haven't been able to really produce the type of scoring that Coach Powers has wanted them to. Louie, he's been scratched a couple times recently. That's never happened before, and he needed that goal, and so did the team. You could kind of see on the bench that the air was starting to come back into Northern Michigan, and if they hadn't scored on that 5-on-3, I think the result of the game would have been very, very different.
I agree totally.
Yeah.
Then we watched them struggle through a second period, but come out in the third period and basically throw haymakers back at them. Every time Northern made a push, the Sun Devils came back with a goal or 2, right?
Yeah, they did. The second period was definitely difficult. Joey saved them in that. That's where they got the majority of their 43 shots. But Northern Michigan, they really didn't stop, doing what they were doing in the second period. But the Sun Devils came back, and every time Northern Michigan scored, the Sun Devils kept scoring. And then that last goal by Brinson Pasichnuk, that was a very well-deserved goal. He had an amazing game last night. He definitely stood out to me, and getting that 7th goal was definitely the cherry on top for the team.
And I think we both thought that Gage Huff's, both of his goals were, first of all, they were goal scorers' goals.
Yes.
Found the corner on both of them, one on each side. But more importantly, Gage finally contributed, and I know that's something he's wanted to do. What were his thoughts after the game?
He was really happy that he was able to contribute, and I brought up to him that Coach Powers always mentions his veteran presence on the bench, and of course he was humble about it and said that he always contributes whatever he can to the team, and he was just happy that the lines were working, everything was working, and the Sun Devils again went back to their identity and their simple style of play.
So last night they came out hard and physical, heavy and physical as they like to play. Then they backed off again. Can you see any rhyme or reason as to why that happens during the course of a game? Because it's happened several times this year.
Coach Powers, I think he said it very well, that all the practice they've done really just started to translate last game. And, it's been difficult for them to put together, a good effort for 2 periods, and I believe they did that. But getting that full game effort is still something that they're working toward. And they'll get there, but that's the thing that comes with a team that, has experience. Again, there are a lot of really young guys on this team. They're playing against historical programs at a big arena. There's a lot of pressure involved, and I think that was probably part of the reason why they got a little bit loose in that second period. They got a little bit too comfortable, and then once Northern Michigan came back, I think that was actually the best thing for them because they got back to what they were doing in the first period.
So as we look at the game that's ahead of us, just about an hour and a half or so, tell me a little bit about what you think a win, if that should be the case, is going to do for the rest of the season. They've got basically the month of January at home, and to be able to win a tournament like this, I would have to think that's going to give them a lot of confidence moving forward.
It would be probably the biggest boost they've gotten all season. The Sun Devils have had those moments where they could get that home sweep or they could get that big win against an impressive program, but they really haven't gotten that yet. And to get a big win at a tournament like this at the Ice Vegas Invitational's inaugural year, it would be monumental for them, a huge confidence boost going into UMass Lowell next week, and that's what they need. But even if they don't get that win, they're still in the championship game. No one expected them to be there. It's still a huge, upgrade from what they were doing before. They won on a Friday night. That's
Exactly.
That's a good thing for them, and it's going to be a lot for them. And whatever happens tonight, I think it is going to be a fairly tight game as long as, again, the Sun Devils have a good start.
We talk a lot about the team and the building of the program and things like that, and it's one step at a time. But something like this, I think, is something that really gives them the confidence to feel like they belong. Not that they didn't probably already, but it's just one more of those nails or whatever rungs on the ladder, I guess we can say.
Definitely. Just being invited to something like this, it means this program is getting attention, playing the people that they have. They weren't expected to do well at all. And you know what? This team has improved so much over the season. Before, they were having trouble with a 20-minute effort. They're getting up to that 40, 50, 60-minute effort. They're just constantly improving as long as they play their style of hockey. And we saw that last night, and I think whatever happens tonight, we're going to see that continue.
Paige, I always appreciate your time, and let us know what happens down there with Two Touch tonight if they're just as loose as they were last night, okay?
I will. Thank you so much, Scott.